We're going to start with Vaughan Gething because he's replaced Mark Drakeford as the leader of Welsh Labour and he will become the next First Minister of Wales. A little earlier, the party announced that Vaughan Gething won the leadership race, beating Jeremy Miles, following Mark Drakeford's resignation late last year. Let's take a look at what the new First Minister had to say.
When your back's against a wall, you want Welsh people by your side, and we'll be there. It's no coincidence that the NHS had its roots here in Wales. No coincidence the heroism and the solidarity shown through the miners' strike. No coincidence that Welsh people are working around the world to build peace and heal division. In times of strife, we unite, we organise, we succeed.
So quite a moment for Vaughan Gething because, as he says, he is the first black leader in any European country. Well, let's talk to GBNews' political correspondent Olivia Utley. A very good afternoon to you, Olivia. Talk us through then what Wales can expect now from Vaughan Gething.
Well, it certainly is a historic moment for Wales and for Vaughan Gething himself. He is, as you say, the first black First Minister of any European country. But I think he's going to have a pretty short honeymoon period. Wales is in a bit of a tricky situation, as is England, but arguably Wales is suffering even more from the long-term worklessness crisis than England is. NHS waiting lists in Wales are longer than they are in England, which reflects pretty badly on Gething himself, who was Health Minister during COVID. In Wales, there are 20% of people waiting over a year for a consultation with a specialist. In England, that's only 5%. That is going to be a problem which Gething will have to deal with very, very quickly indeed, because as we know, as we have seen here in England, long NHS waiting lists translate very directly into a worklessness crisis, which stems productivity. There are other problems too that Gething is going to have to tackle quickly. There is a lot of anger still in Wales at that 20 miles per hour driving limit. I was in Cardiff a couple of weeks ago speaking to people who are furious about that, who think that it's having a huge effect on businesses in Wales. And we can also expect Gething to be lobbied very, very hard to bring business rates down. Meanwhile, he will also have to tackle this farmers' crisis. Farmers in Wales are furious because a Drakeford policy meant that they have to hand over, if they are to be entitled to the subsidies which they have grown used to, they have to be prepared to hand over 10% of their farming land for environmental causes, i.e. change 10% of their land from agricultural farming land into land that can be used for growing trees. I was in Wales speaking to Welsh farmers. They are not happy about that at all. There were lots of signs saying things like, Mark Drakeford, our sheep don't grow on trees. Will Gething try and reverse that policy of Mark Drakeford's? It seems unlikely. The two are very much in the same mould. And Andrew R.T. Davies, the Conservative leader in Wales, suggested that actually Wales would just have more of the same under Vaughan Gething. There are all sorts of challenges facing Wales right now, some which are mirrored in England and others which are specific to Wales itself. It is a tough, tough role to be stepping into. But of course, Gething has a lot of experience. He's been in the Welsh Cabinet for a long time now as Economic Minister and Health Minister before that. So the people of Wales will just have to hope that he's up to the challenge.
He's got a lot of experience, but I guess nothing prepares you, does it, for this top job? What's been the reaction so far to this announcement, the reaction of the trade unions, for example?
Well, I think that there is a lot of excitement about the idea of the first black man becoming a leader in a European country, and we've seen that sort of across the whole political spectrum. But there is also sort of consternation. We've heard from the Welsh Tory leader, as I mentioned, Andrew R.T. Davies, who sort of congratulated him up to a point, but suggested that Wales would just be facing more of the same. Trade unions will have to sort of see how that settles, because obviously we know that in Wales, as in England, the trade unions have quite a pincer-like grip on the Labour movement. I think what Gething is concentrating on at the moment is the idea that Labour will soon be in power in the UK as a whole. And of course, that will sort of give wind to the flames of his premiership in Wales if there is a Starmer government in Westminster who he can work closely with. His hope is that over the next Parliament, things will get a little bit easier for the relationship between the First Minister in Wales and the government in Westminster.
Political correspondent Olivia Utley, thanks very much for that analysis.